Anybody can tell right now that we are in a slight fuel crisis. Gas prices did just go down recently, but it wasn't long ago that they were as high as $4. You can go to any major city and see the pollution literally in front of your eyes. These are problems that need to be taken care of, and this is one, and hybrid technology, in my opinion, is one step to bring us closer to taking care of these problems. Okay, this is just a little impact, or environmental impact of automobiles. Each gallon of gas burns, creates 20 pounds of carbon dioxide. That translates to 300 million metric tons of carbon every year for all the automobiles on the planet. U.S. alone consumes 8.2 million barrels of oil. Their vehicle emissions makes up 1/3 of their total carbon dioxide emissions. This is greater than factories, houses, anything like that. 1/3 is an amazing number. And then trends predict that vehicles across the world, there's going to be more than 1 billion vehicles on the roads by 2025. So if you keep polluting with the vehicles that we have now, with 1 billion vehicles on the road, that's staggering how much pollution that can cause. Okay, this is just a little trends in driving history. Since 1970, people are increasing their driving by 150%. In the U.S. alone, people drive 2 trillion miles a year. In the U.S., there's actually more cars than adults, which is kind of an interesting number. And then families average 10 trips per year. And as you can see by the odometer, people are driving a lot more. And the more you drive, the more pollution. It continues on down the list. There's been some government regulation that's happened. Back in 1970 is when they first implemented the emissions regulations. It helped, but it's still, there's tons of pollution coming out of these automobiles right now. And now, today, since they want to push towards a cleaner environment and a greener planet, you can actually get in tax incentives for buying hybrid and alternate fuel vehicles. And those can be as high as $3,500 just for buying a car. They'll give you the money. And then President Obama just signed a law that's going to go into effect by 2011. All cars have to have a minimum of, the average car has to have a minimum of 30.2 miles per gallon, and the average truck has to get at least 24.1 miles per gallon. Okay, so let's talk about how hybrids can help this problem, which is obviously a problem. It is shown that if all the cars in the world saved 5 miles per gallon, they got 5 miles per gallon, we would use 1.5, or in the United States, we would use 1.5 million barrels of oil less per day, which is a staggering amount of fuel in a fuel crisis that we were in. And so hybrids are one way we can do this. Hybrids on average can get 20 to 30 miles per gallon better than the standard automobile. They can also be as high as some hybrids can get into the mid-40s, 40 miles per gallon. Can you imagine? I mean, it's insane. And the thing about hybrid automobiles is that it's an internal combustion engine and an electric motor. Well, when you're running and at a stop, or you're running at very slow speeds, it totally shuts off the internal combustion engine. So you're using 100% electric motor, which the pollution off of an electric motor is 0. So, I mean, that's already cutting way amount. On average, the Americans spend 88 billion hours a year in traffic. So that sounds like a huge number, and in traffic, you're never going more than generally about 10 miles per hour, and you're doing a lot of stopping. That's the entirety of the time where the electric motor would be going. So you would be polluting, none of these vehicles in traffic, and these 8 billion hours that they're in traffic would be giving any pollution whatsoever. Now, one common misconception about hybrids is the environmental impact that their batteries are going to have on, like, once they start wearing out. Well, first of all, people think that hybrid batteries are going to wear out really quickly. Most automakers guarantee them for at least 10 to 15 years. So that's generally the life of an automobile. And they're easily recyclable. And when you compare them to the lead acid batteries that are found in conventional cars nowadays, it's a lot less toxic. Lead is way more toxic than any kind of battery out there. Right now they're using lithium-ion batteries, and Toyota itself is offering $200 to anybody to give them back the battery from their car. They'll give you $200 for it, and they recycle every part of it that's involved. The cells, the plastic, everything gets recycled. So. Okay, now another common misconception is the fact that you think a hybrid, you think the Toyota Prius. A little tiny car rolling down the road. Well, that's actually not true. Nowadays, all the modern manufacturers are coming out with hybrid equivalents to their existing product lines. Like Ford has quite a few different hybrids. I showed two on the top, the Fusion and the Escape. The Escape, I mean, it's an SUV. You can carry many people in it and it still gets great gas mileage, and it's greener for the environment. Chevy actually has a hybrid version of their pickup truck, the Silverado. It's an interesting thing, you know, people might think pickup truck, it's bad for the environment because, you know, it's not really that necessary. But some people actually do need a pickup truck for work or things of that nature. The hybrid Silverado gets 21 miles per gallon, which might not sound like a lot, but when you compare it to the 14 miles per gallon that its standard equivalent gets, its gas motor, you're saving 140 gallons of gas every year. So, and then also the high-end car market has been getting into hybrids. Like that's a Lexus right there, but there's any high-end manufacturers, BMW, all these are coming out with hybrid equivalents of their cars as well. So it's not just, hey, I want to go out and buy like a little tiny car anymore. There's hybrid equivalents to everything. So, but without people like going out and buying these cars, the manufacturers aren't going to sell them, and they're not going to do more on the research. Now, I'm not saying the hybrid technology is going to be the save-all, but without support for it, they're not going to be researching it. They're not going to research different things. They're not going to expand on it, and this could, in turn, keep affecting our environment that we have right now. Because if we keep polluting this planet, then we're not going to be around to see it very much longer. So. Thank you very much.